Good morning to all. We discuss about our last class, East and West era of exchange, medieval cities, famous cities in medieval age, then guild, two types of guilds, merchant guilds and craftsman's guild, then aims of guilds, decline of guilds, responsibilities of guilds. These are the previous knowledge in the last class. Then today we discuss about our next part, medieval education. Medieval education. Okay. Then Europe achieved the notable development in education at medieval period. Listen, Europe achieved the notable progress in the medieval period. Okay. Then the expansion of basic education, universities, Greco-Roman knowledge and Islamic knowledge, the features of the medieval age. Listen, universities, Greco-Roman knowledge, then Islamic knowledge and the expansion of basic knowledge. Expansion of basic knowledge, universities, Greco-Roman knowledge, and Islamic knowledge. Greco-Roman knowledge and Islamic knowledge were the features of medieval age. Then many schools sprang up during this period imparting primary education. Many schools sprang up during the period for imparting primary education. Okay, listen. The major subject taught in medieval schools were grammar, Latin, astronomy, literature, philosophy, mathematics and law of nature. Listen, the major subject taught in medieval period in medieval Europe were the grammar, Latin, astronomy, literature, philosophy, mathematics and the law of nature. Okay. Then education of women was restricted at that period, but rare opportunities education were nuns and the children of rulers and nobles. Listen, rare opportunities of nuns and children of rulers and nobles. Okay. Then during that period, university education also began to flourish. Then during that period, university education also began flourished. University education, basic education flourished, then university education flourished at that period. The main subject of university taught in medicine, languages, geometry and law. Main subjects of university is taught in medicine, language, geometry and law. These are the main subjects taught in universities. Okay, many universities were established in Europe in the 11th and 12th century. Many universities of established in Europe 11th and 12th century. Okay, clear? Which are the main universities, important universities in Europe? Which are they? Okay, first one, Bologna University in Italy. Bologna University in Italy. Constantinople in Turkey. Constantinople in Turkey. Paris in France. Paris in France. Then Oxford, Cambridge and Cambridge in England. Okay. Which are the main universities in 11th and 12th century? Which are they? Bologna University in Italy. Then Constantinople University in Turkey. Then Paris Universities in France. Then Oxford and Cambridge Universities in England. Okay, clear? Then another important universities was Cordova University. Cordova University established by the Arabs in Spain. Established by the Arabs in Spain. The another important or famous universities situated in medieval age or Europe, Cordova University. Listen, Cordova. Cordova University. Okay. Cordova University is established by the Arabs in Spain. Okay. One of the important features of Cordova universities was library. Cordova University's main feature, library, which had thousands of manuscripts. Existed in thousands of manuscripts. Listen, one of the important features of Cordova universities was library which had thousands of manuscripts. Okay. Then this university provided facilities for learning languages such as Greek, Syriac, Persian and Sanskrit. Which are the learning languages? Greek, Syriac, Persian and Sanskrit. These universities, Cordova universities, provided facilities for learning languages such as Greek, Syriac, Persian and Sanskrit. Okay. Then next, the advancement of the education was not confined to Europe. It began to prosper in Central Asia during the period of Abbasid of Caliphs. Okay. Primary education institutions were started from 10th century onwards. Okay. primary education institutions were started from the 10th century onwards. Okay, where children between the age of 6 to 14 years were educated. Here 6 to 14 years. 6 to 14 years compulsory educations. Nowadays free and compulsory educations in our constitutions. Okay, listen. Then during this period, facilities of women education in the Arab world. Then 10th century onwards, the primary education, which year 6 to 14 years were compelled education. Okay, then educated. Then during this period, facilities for then 10th centuries period, facilities for women education in Arab world. Ladies were given the opportunity to become teachers of attaining the degree. Ijaz. Which degree? Ijaz. Which degree? Ijaz degree. Ladies were given to opportunities to become the teachers by attaining the degrees Ijaz degree. Then the universities of Baghdad and Damascus of Central Asia. The universities of Baghdad and Damascus of Central Asia. Then the Al-Azhar University of Egypt. As the Al-Azhar University of Egypt. Al-Azhar University is situated in Egypt. Okay. Then were the major education institutions of the medieval period. Then the Far East also witnessed the progress of education in the medieval period. Then schools were established at various places in China. Okay. Learning started in the education at institutions at the age of 6 in China. Europe 6 to 14 compulsory education. Then China starting the education 6 years old. Everyone 6 years old education starting. China. Six years old. Okay. The majority of the schools knowledge was imparted by the single teacher method. In China, the majority of the schools, majority of the Chinese schools, knowledge was imparted by the single teacher method. One man show method, single teacher method. Every subject taught the one teacher. Okay. The Buddhist philosophy was compulsory subject in schools. Buddhist philosophy was compulsory subject in the schools attached to Buddhist viharas. Okay. Listen, the Buddhist philosophies was compulsory subject in the schools attached to the Buddhist viharas. Okay. Chinese education starting the year, which year? 6 years old. Then China, the majority of the schools, Chinese majority of the schools, knowledge was imparted by the single teacher method. Okay. Then during that period, India adopted, the medieval period, India adopted a Gurukula system. What means Gurukula system? Gurukula system. Okay. Medieval period, India adopted the Gurukula system. Then the main subject offered in these universities were grammar, languages, literature, philosophy and astronomy. Listen, the main subjects offered in these institutions were grammar, languages, literature, philosophy and astronomy. These are the main subject in these universities, taught the universities. Okay. Many educational institutions attached to the temples then prevailed in the South India during the medieval period. Attached to the temple during the South India medieval period. Okay. Medieval period education systems, very vast and very wide system. Okay. Then once more again, medieval educations, Europe achieved the notable development in education at medieval period, at that period. Okay. The expansion of basic educations, universities, Greco-Roman knowledge and Islamic knowledge. These are the subjects was established or flourished in this medieval period. Okay. Many schools sprang up during this period for imparting primary education. Okay. The major subject in primary education, the major subject taught in medieval schools were grammar, Latin, astronomy, literature, philosophy, mathematics and law of nature. These are the major subject taught in medieval period. Okay. Major subject taught in medieval period. Okay. Then education of women was nowadays, then medieval age, then during that period the women's education was restricted. So many women's not education. Then education of women was restricted, but rare opportunities for education were nuns and the children of lords and rulers or nobles and rulers. Then during that period, the medieval period, university educations also began to flourish. Primary education flourished, university education flourished. The main subject of university taught in philosophy, literature, medicine, languages, geometry and law. These are the main subjects of universities, taught the universities. Okay. Then many universities established in this period. Which are the universities in medieval period, medieval Europe? Okay. Bologna University in Italy. Then Constantinople, which place? Situated which place? Okay. Turkey, the previous knowledge. Then first chapter, previous knowledge. Turkey established Constantinople established the Turkeys. Okay. Then Paris situated in France. Then Cambridge and Oxford universities. Of England. In England. These are the main universities established in this period, in the medieval period. Okay, then another important universities or famous universities established in medieval period, Cordova universities. Cordova University established by the Arabs in Spain. Cordova universities established Arabs in Spain. Okay. One of the important features of Cordova universities, was the library function. Cordova University's library functions was very vast. Okay. Which specialities of the Cordova University's library? Thousands of manuscripts, which had thousands of manuscripts. Then these universities provided facilities for learning languages such as Greek, Syriac, Persian and Sanskrit. Okay, clear? Which are the main subjects taught in Cordova University? Which are the main subjects? Greek, Syriac, Persian and Sanskrit are the main languages learned the Cordova universities. Okay, the advancement of education was not confined to Europe. It began to prosper the Central Asia during the period of Abbasid of Caliphs. Then primary education institutions were started from 10th century onwards. The starting the primary education in medieval Europe, in medieval period. Okay, where children's between primary class started the which age? 6 to 14 years. 6 to 14 years were educated. During this period, facilities of women education in the Arab world. During this period, facilities of women education in the Arab period. Not only during the period, facilities of women educated in the Arab world. Then ladies were given to opportunities to become teachers by attaining the degree, Ijaz degree. Then the universities of Baghdad and Damascus of Central Asia, the Al-Azhar University of Egypt. Al-Azhar universities, the famous universities in medieval period, Al-Azhar universities. Okay. Then were the major in Al-Azhar universities, the major educational institutions of the medieval period. Next, the Far East also witnessed the progress of education in the medieval period. So many progress of education. Then schools were established at the various places in the world. China, Europe, Asian countries, etc. Then schools were established at the various places in China. Okay, learning started in the education at the institutions at the starting age of China, which year? 6 years. 6 years was educated. Then the majority of the schools knowledge was imparted by the single teacher method in this period, in that period. Okay, the Buddhist philosophy was compulsory subject in schools. Buddhist philosophy compulsory subject in these schools attached the Buddhist viharas. During that period, India adopted a Gurukula system. The main subjects offered in these institutions were grammar, language, literature, philosophy and astronomy. Okay, many educational institutions attached to the temples prevailed in the South India during the medieval period. These are the main content of the medieval education. Okay, clear? Then next part, art and literature. Okay, next part, art and literature. Art and literature. Literature. Okay, then next part, art and literature in medieval period. Look at the textbook, page number 32. Look at the textbook, page number 32 and 33. Okay, 32 and 33. Identify so many pictures. Analyze the so many pictures. Pictures number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay. Picture number 1. Romanesque style picture. Picture number 1. Romanesque style. Then next, picture number 2. Gothic style. Okay. Picture number 2. Gothic style. Then third picture, Carolingian style. Carolingian style. Look at the textbook. This is the Romanesque style, this Gothic style, then this Carolingian style. These are the three types of picture. Okay. Then these pictures indicate the advancement of medieval world in the field of architecture. These pictures indicate the architecture of or advancement of medieval world in the field of architecture and art. Okay, art and architecture progress. These pictures indicate the architecture progress or art progress. Emperor Charlemagne. Who was Charlemagne? Who was Charlemagne? Okay, learn the first chapter. Okay, clear. Emperor Charlemagne formed a new style. Charlemagne formed a new style by combining ancient Roman styles with Byzantine styles. This is known as Carolingian style. Okay, clear? Emperor Charlemagne established or formed a new style was Carolingian style. Carolingian style combining Roman styles and Byzantine style. Roman styles and Byzantine style combining the new style of Carolingian style established by Charlemagne. Okay, its important features of Carolingian style. What are the important features of Carolingian styles? You can remember it. You can remember it. Okay. It is most features are domes. Most features of domes. Then another feature, arc-shaped door. Arc-shaped doors. Then another features, huge pillars. Another features, huge pillars. Then and another picture, mosaic floor. These are the main pictures in Carolingian style. Mosaic floor, huge pillars, arch-shaped doors and domes is the main features of or important features are Carolingian style. For Carolingian style established was Charlemagne. Charlemagne was established the Carolingian style, combining ancient Roman style and Byzantine style. Combining the ancient Roman style and Byzantine style, the another new styles established the Carolingian style by Charlemagne. Okay. Then the Europeans got acquainted with the Islamic culture during the Crusades. Art and literature were exchanged during this period. Art and literature were exchanged during this period, during that period, medieval period. China, Asia to Europe, Europe to Asia, then changing the exchange during this period. Okay, the Western style was profoundly influenced by the Eastern art and architecture. Eastern art and architecture, for example, the Platonic Academy of Florence, and the Queen's Pigs Hospital of Paris. Listen, the Western style was profoundly influenced by the Eastern art and architecture. Eastern art and architecture. For example, Eastern art and architecture. For example, the Platonic Academy of Florence and Queen's Pigs Hospitals of Paris. These are the main example of Western style and Eastern. Western styles was profoundly influenced by the Eastern art and architecture. Okay. Today we discuss the part medieval education, then medieval art and literature, first part. Okay, take your notebook, write down some important questions. Write down some important questions. Question number 1. Which are the main universities in Europe? Which are the main universities in 11th and 12th century in Europe? Then another questions. Next question. Write a short note. Write a short note about Cordova University. Cordova Universities. Okay, Cordova University. Today I am going to wind up the class. Okay, thank you. See the next class.